Tell me a little bit about this poll and who it sampled.
Okay. Well, this is the latest iteration of the George Washington University Battleground Poll, which is a highly accurate measurement of public opinion, which we've gone out and surveyed 1,000 people, likely voters, and this has a margin of error of about 3%. Another interesting thing about it is that this is a poll that is done by a major Republican polling firm and a major Democratic polling firm, and together they provide analysis looking at the same data from different perspectives. And our job as a university is to kind of mediate between those two perspectives and provide a perspective that is not necessarily seen through partisan lenses. And I might say that the George Washington University is very proud to be the sponsor of this Battleground Poll.
What are the top 3 things that this poll, this new GW Battleground Poll, show?
Well, I think the top 3 things that the GW Battleground Poll show are, first of all, that the Democrats are in trouble. That if the election were held today, more people are going to vote for the Republican Party than the Democratic Party for Congress. And this is surprising because mostly we've seen Democrats in the lead on that question, and then when you actually get to the polls, in the election results, it's actually closer than the polls show. So the fact that the Democrats are behind now is a very troublesome time. We have a long way to go. Secondly, I think that on many, many issues, the strong point for the Democrats is the public supports their position on those issues more than they support the Republicans, with the sole exception of national security issues in which the pro-military sentiments of the Republican Party have taken root among the public. And then the third, I think, big finding is that Mr. Obama remains popular personally, but his approval ratings have been slipping on a whole host of issues. So again, as we spin back looking at the 2010 election, a lot is going to depend on what happens on the successive programs that the Obama administration has put in place.
That's a great segue into the second question. I mean, how critical do you think that it is for health care to be passed before this next election?
Well, I think as a matter of judgment, it is very critical for it to be passed because it makes it much more difficult to pass it in a year in which there's an election. And also, the Democrats want to get it passed now so that the programs are in place so that they don't look as scary to the public as any major change like this would look. But I also want to say that the public is mostly concerned about the cost of health care, and Obama's administration has been pushing the overall coverage of health care, the number of people that are involved, and that's less of a priority for the citizens. Of course, these two issues are linked because if they can get more people covered, then that's going to reduce the cost of health care insurance, which is what people are mostly concerned about.
Pivoting slightly, in your opinion, do you think that the Republicans can take back either the House or Senate in the upcoming 2010 election?
Well, I think one thing that this poll does show is that a year is a very long time in politics. So a year ago, the Democrats were in ascendant. There were many more people saying they were Democrats and going to vote Democrats. They were happy with the new administration. And now we are a year into the administration in all practical terms. And the public has turned around and they're far more skeptical about what the Democrats are trying to accomplish. So we don't know. It may be that they are concerned that nothing is happening in Congress and that big legislation that they were promised in significant change hasn't taken place. And I think when we get to November of 2010, the real story is going to be written as to whether or not the Obama administration is able to get some of its priorities through the Congress, like health care, and whether those things are actually starting to cure some of the problems. And the biggest problem out there is the economy and jobs. And so I think the story of the 2010 election will be, are those problems solved or moving towards resolution? And if that's the case, then the Democrats may be in much better stand than they are in this poll.